this is Janet with Try It Like It Created, and today I'm going to be making a pair of shrink art earrings using nested dies from scrapbook.com. And I have taken out the smallest tree out of the packet, and I am using shrink film in white from Grafix. And so I have my shrink film on my crossover 2 die cutter, and I have the die in place. I'm just going to put my top plate on here and give this a run through to cut. Now for a pair of earrings, of course, I'm going to want to do this twice. And make sure I had it, yeah, okay. Had it firm enough to cut through. All right. And now we're just ready for the second one. You can hear cracking as I'm die cutting, and that there's nothing wrong, there's nothing breaking. That is just the nature of how we die cut. All right, so now I have those 2 trees cut out, and let me clean up the space and then we'll move on to the next step. For the next step, I'm going to be applying some alcohol ink. I've got 2 different bottles here. Let's see, I've got citrus and stream, and I am just going to use a cosmetic sponge. We're going to start with the lighter colored green, and I have my trees down here in front of me. Kind of hard to see a white on a white background, but I am just going to apply that alcohol ink, and it doesn't need a lot because as these pieces shrink, the color is going to get more intense. Okay, so I am just going to apply the ink here until I like what I see, and then we'll take it over to our oven and heat it up to shrink. But before I do that, I will also poke a hole in it so that the earrings can hang. All right, so there we go. If you like this pattern, you can leave it as is, or if you want, you could spritz on top of it with a little bit of alcohol, rubbing alcohol, and that will make your colors move around. I kind of like what's happening here together. I think we need a little bit more of our darker green on this second tree here. Let me just add a little to the outer edges. Maybe a little bit more to this one as well. And then I think we're ready to shrink. Okay, one important step I forgot about is that we're going to want to poke a hole in these before I send them to shrink. So I'm just going to eyeball the center here, and I am using a regular standard size hole punch because as that shrinks down, it will be the right size for jewelry. Okay, and to make sure I've got them exactly in the same spot, I'm going to line them up on top of each other here and cut my second one. All right, that looks good. Oh, we're a little off on that one. That's okay. We'll just work with it. Now, I think I want the back of these to have color too, so I am just going to go back into these real quick and add a little bit of color to the back. Alright, now we're ready for the toaster oven. Alright, I have my toaster oven tray here ready. I have some parchment paper on it. I'm just going to put the 2 trees on there, and then I'm going to cover it with parchment paper, and that will help those designs be flat once they shrink down. Okay, so here they are out of the oven after shrinking, and you can see that our pattern here is a little bit intense, or the colors have become a little bit more intense, and there's the back. that we just lightly colored. And now I'm going to take an alcohol ink marker and just go over the outer edge so that it matches the rest of the earring. Okay, so this is just a nice way to kind of finish off what you're doing, make it look a little bit more professional, a little bit more finished. Get rid of those white edges as much as you can on these pieces. And we couldn't have done this before shrinking because there really wasn't much of an edge there to work with. So afterwards works best. For this pair, I am going to take my rose gold stamp pad that scrapbook.com sent to me, and I'm using some plastic wrap here, and I am just going to use this as a pouncing tool. And so I'm just picking up that ink and pouncing it onto the tree. And once again, I'm going to do this on both sides. For my last pair in silver, I am going to ink up this stamp and use it as texture, and I am using StazOn black ink on this stamp. And so I want to just ink it and give it a try to make sure it's working well. And then I'm going to ink this up and give it a stamp on one. Make sure it has nice contact. There we go. And then I'm going to do it again on this one. There we have it. Alright, so I had just used a little bit of UV resin over the tops of these and then exposed it to a UV light. And then any of the holes that got closed up, I just went in and opened them up with a Dremel tool. To show you the difference, here's one with a regular hole punch, and here is one with a smaller, I think it's called a 1/4 inch hole punch. And so both of these were punched before baking. Now, if you're not comfortable with doing that, you can of course use a Dremel tool to drill through afterwards. So the next thing we're going to do here is take a jump ring, and I've got a flat nose plier and a needle nose plier, and I am just going to twist this jump ring open, and I am going to thread on my earring, and I am going to also thread on my ear wire and give this a nice twist back closed. Okay, so just double checking to make sure that jump ring is closed, and to show you that when this hangs in my ear, the earring is going to be, so if it's in my ear, it's going to be off to the side, not facing forward. Okay, if you want it to face forward, you need to twist the loop on your ear wire. Hope that makes sense for you. All right, so to do that, I'm going to take my flat nose plier and my ear wire. I'm just going to grab a hold of it like so and give it a twist 90 degrees. Now these ear wires are not often made for the wire to be moved around, so you may find that yours breaks, and that's okay. Just grab another one and move on.